Bruce here on this beautiful spring day in Murphy, North Carolina, and let's get training. Any day training is a good day, but it's very beautiful today. Alright, this is the first installment on the basic handgun class, inspired by my sister-in-law in Georgia, Sharon. Sharon, thank you. This goes out to you, and of course, to everybody else. Installment 1, day 1, let's get training. Now, the intent was to show Sharon trigger reset. Well, everything snowballed, and then it became time to, well, let's do the whole shooting match. I've never seen Sharon shoot, so I have no idea. So we're going from day 1, even though she shoots and shoots well. Day 1 from scratch for everybody else. This is basic handgun. Let's get to it. First on the agenda, safety. You may have to zoom in, do whatever you got to do. Alright, 4 basic rules we're going to go by today and every training video, even up into future episodes when we go out to the range. Here we go, let's go. Rule 1. Treat all guns as if they were loaded. Period. I don't care if you've checked it, you've taken it out. That's empty. That's not loaded. No. Treat it as if it's loaded. It's just good habits. You will not get complacent, Alec Baldwin. You will not get complacent. Treat all guns as if they were loaded. Enough said. 2. Never point the muzzle at anyone or anything you are not willing to destroy. Enough said. Self-defense situation, well, you're going to have to point. Other than that, don't. Keep the muzzle in a safe direction. You follow these rules, nobody will ever get shot. Because there is no accidental discharge, only negligent discharges. Okay, rule number 3. Keep your finger off the trigger until you are on target. I don't know how many times at the range I see that error. Right from the holster, finger on the trigger. Getting ready to change magazine, finger. Keep the finger off the trigger. You'll learn. Do that, life is good. Because you pick it up, finger on the trigger, you move wrong, bang! Oops! Sorry. Number 4. Know your target and what is beyond. Very important. Okay, you're in your house, drywall. Who's in the next room? Who's in the next house? Many modern firearms today will go through the walls into the next house. Know your target and what's beyond. And going into that, today in our training, I want to use my gun, but we're in town. Essentially, there is no safe direction. So I'm going to disable my firearm so it cannot shoot. In essence, it is not a firearm. Are you going to do that, Bruce? All right. I call this my chamber cleaning device. Right, YouTube? It's for cleaning purposes. The edge of the cartridge has been ground down so the extractor cannot pull it out. It's glued into this pencil so it will stick out the end of the barrel, thus signifying that, no, this is not a firearm anymore. It's a chunk of metal. So here we go. Into there. Into there. It's in there. Reassemble. Oh. Get in there. This recoil spring, seat's funny in the Springfield. Back on. Disassemble the lever. Down. For grins and giggles, this is no longer a firearm. It's a chunk of metal for our training purposes. Obviously, I can convert it back in no time flat to a functioning firearm. But for our training, it's not a firearm. It's a chunk of metal. Safety first. Did I get all the rules there? Okay, good. Which leads us up to another. As far as safe training, the SIRT. This is a SIRT pistol. It cannot fire. There is no barrel. It only has lasers. That's right, lasers only. It is incapable of firing. For training, we'll try and maintain safe directions, but in essence, it's a toy. A $300 toy, but the beauty of this, you can train and practice at home in total safety. Total safety. You endanger no one. You can practice. It's just lasers. See if you can see that. Just lasers. But this tool helps you to self-diagnose what you're doing wrong, what you're doing right. Highly recommended. Okay, let's get to it. We did the rules, did the SIRT. Let's start off with eye dominance. Okay, most of you know your eye dominance. But in case you don't, let's go through it. Are you left eye dominant, right eye dominant? Are you right-handed and left eye dominant? We'll test. Okay. Get your hands together like that and form a tiny little opening. Not like this. Tiny opening. And aim at something like 10 feet away. Alright, 10 feet away. And then fairly quickly bring it back. Where'd it go? It went right to my left eye. As it turns out, I'm left eye dominant. I used to be right eye dominant, but somewhere between getting glaucoma, aging, my dominance switched from right to left. And here's the kink. I'm right-handed. So I had to modify my shooting. Once again, laser, so I'm going to point it at you. It's a camera, it's not you. So for me to correct that, I use my proper stance, cant it to the left. And I'm good to go. Alright, so that's your dominance. Next, we're going to go over the grip. Two-handed grip. Okay, I call this the high and tight. We're teaching you the grips to eliminate variables. Everything we do has variables. What we're trying to do today is eliminate your variables. So do the same way every time. As I say, you can't break the rules until you learn the rules. So when you practice this, do it the same way. Don't vary. When you get to the range, which we will in a few episodes, we'll be on the range training. Any change you make changes where you hit the target. We're trying to get you to hit the same spot every time. The way to do that is the same thing every time. When you play golf, the same stroke for the same shot. You don't switch things up. Ask Tiger Wood. You don't switch things up. It screws you. Okay. Two-handed grip. Once again, our safe firearm. I call it high and tight. Get your hand. Form that notch. And you're going high and tight. Up against that tang. High and tight. Got that? Next, we're going to bring in our support hand. And we're going to go here. We're going to put that old chicken wing right in that empty spot. The goal here is to leave no blank spots whatsoever. Every part of that grip must be surrounded. Now, you'll notice your thumbs This thumb has a little indent here. This one has a little bulge. We're going to try and mate those. I know, every grip is different, every handgun is different. Roll with it. Your goal is to try that. If your hands don't fit, they don't fit. Do the best you can. Okay, high and tight. And the next one is high and tight to the trigger guard. Not up to here, to the trigger guard. We're not in Europe doing the Austrian way. So high and tight, high and tight. Fill that. No gaps. They fit in there. They go along the side. Your thumb's pointing that way. Think of your thumbs like driving a car. When you drive a car, your thumbs are going that way. Your mind, your eyes are gearing with your thumbs, going that way. So keep them going that way. Don't cross, point way up and, no. That way, interlocking. Don't cross. Trigger hand thumb is high. Support hand, low. Got it? Good. So high and tight, high and tight. Learn this before you break the rules. Very important, and it removes variables. You'll be much better on the range. All right, where are we? Trigger, finger, tension. Well, easiest way to explain trigger finger tension is you don't want it to creak. Or, all right, let's put it this way. Grab your hand like that. You got your trigger finger. Now squeeze! Now pull that trigger finger. Oh, it's grunting and groaning and tension, and it's not smooth. But lighten that grip. Lighten it. Lighten. There you go. Oh, now it's smooth. That's the amount of tension we want for that trigger finger. Got it? Now, this is for the two-hand grip, and it relates to the one-hand grip. Unless you have arthritis, you're totally disabled, and we'll get to that. But for now, there you go. When it's smooth. One way to check it's smooth, take 3 fingers, put it in your trigger finger hand, close. Now work your trigger finger. If you feel movement in these 3 fingers, it's too much tension. Got it? There you go. Alright. Trigger finger, trigger hand tensions. Oh! Alright. Now, you may think, well, I got this and I got this. 50% of my strength should go into the trigger hand, 50% into the support hand. Makes sense to me. No. We want to divvy that up. Remember we went back to we need a lighter tension for the trigger finger hand? Yes. Well, to make up for that, we're going to put about, not quite, but about twice the amount of pressure on the support hand to help mitigate some of the recoil and to allow that trigger finger nice, smooth movement. So there, we're trying to eliminate the variables. Now, each time you train, you should be working on at least 1 or 2 aspects of the fundamentals. I work on fundamentals every time I go to the range. I am not an expert. You know what an expert is? Somebody who has mastered the fundamentals. No, I work on something every time I go to the range. So bear in mind, every time you go to the range, have a goal in mind. Otherwise, it's as my old instructors Joe and Carrie said, it's a BWAT. BWAT? Yeah, BWAT. Big, expensive waste of time. and ammo. So don't be a BWAT. Have a goal in mind for your training. Alright. Cover that? Yeah, it sounds good. Aiming. Alright. Aiming, we work on sight alignment. Okay, sight alignment. We have a U notch in the back. Some have different notch. We have a U notch. We've got this front post. We want the top of this front post at the top of this notch. Got it? Top of the notch, top of the post, as it shows in this handy chart. And I hope you're seeing the chart and I'm seeing the chart. Find these online. They're all over the place. Pistol correction chart. Very good to have and diagnose. But that's the rear notch. That's the front post. And you put your target, the bullseye, on top. Got it? Good. Now, I ran into one woman at the range. She was going on the premise that you should always keep it level. No, that's further down the road and defensive. So, for now, notch, notch, the same. Now this ties into our sight picture. Did I drop my clipboard? Yep. Okay. Our sight picture. Noisy neighborhood today. Oh yeah. Let's finish up a little bit on the sight alignment. I was at the range the other day. The woman was aiming like this. I said, "You're not using your sights." "Well, my last instructor told me to keep it level." I said, "You're not using your sights. Every time you pull the trigger, you're going, where did that one go? You're not using your sights. Bring the handgun up to your eye." "But he told me to keep it level." We'll get on with that later on when we come to defensive draw strokes down the road in other lessons. In that case, you do. When you're coming from this position to full extended, you do keep it level. So you can keep shooting from there to there to there. We're not there. We're shooting a target with different bullseyes. So, here's our bullseye. Here's my eye. Close enough. Bring the handgun up to your eye. Good. There's only one line between your eye and the bullseye. Bring the handgun up to that line. Don't chase it. I gotta keep bending down to catch up to my gun. No. Bring it up. Bring it up to you. You don't go down to it. Now, I'll see some people really bending their head down low. No. You have a natural point where everything's perfect. You're going to need balance. Once again, further down the road episode, you need balance. And a common theme that comes with humans is 15 degrees. We walk down the road. Our head is not straight up and down. Oh, this isn't a movie. We'd be uncomfortable. We'd stumble. Our head naturally cants a little bit to 15 degrees. At 15 degrees, we're in balance. And later down the road, once again, it ties into your feet also. 15 to 45.